Because I hate money, not only did I buy a Wii U long past its expiration date, I also decided to spend well over $100 on old games I'll never play. With the Wii U eShop shutting down at the end of March, a lot of classic Nintendo games will no longer be available through official channels. Because I'm all for appreciating things that are old, especially women, I whipped out my credit card and made it rain on Nintendo's old decrepit console. We're going to kick things off with the Game Boy Advance Virtual Console games. For Advance Wars 1 and 2, it's pretty straightforward. The games will be released on Switch at some point in its full remastered glory. Similarly, for Castlevania, I own the GBA collection on Switch, so there's no reason to buy the originals. That means the first Virtual Console game I'm buying is Car Battler Joe. I've been interested in this game ever since I saw it in a gaming magazine way back when. I can't remember, but I think it was either GMR or EGM or DTF, but they said it was good, that's all that matters. Unfortunately, they barely printed Car Battler Joe physically, and if you try to find a copy nowadays on eBay, it's $700. I'd be losing money if I didn't buy it here for $7. Another game that practically pays for itself is Drill Dozer. Developed by Game Freak, who also created such classics as Little Town Hero and Tembo the Badass Elephant, it's $200 for a physical copy in this day and age. I haven't looked this up because it's what a financially sensible person would do, so I'm hoping the Wii U version has the rumble feature or whatever it was built in. I already own F-Zero Maximum Velocity on 3DS thanks to the Ambassador program, so that's out. Naturally, I thought I would buy the sequel on Wii U. I remember playing the crap out of it back in the day, and I figured I'd be able to recapture that magic of my youth. Well, I watched gameplay of F-Zero GP Legend, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, and Onimusha Tactics. All games I have pleasant memories of enjoying them on my Game Boy Advance SP. But watching them again as a sad old man, they seem stiff and ugly, just like my bones. So instead of destroying those memories tucked away deep in my mind, I'm leaving all 3 games alone. My younger self would thank me. And then he'd wonder why there was a creepy old guy hiding under his bed, and then I'd have to explain how expensive cost of living has become in the future. The reason I'm not buying either of the Golden Sun games is simple. I'm hoping Nintendo brings them to Switch. The Advance Wars GBA games got the remaster treatment, so why not Golden Sun? It was a great 2-part series on the handheld, which ultimately fizzled on DS, but still has lots of fans to this day. The trajectory is almost the exact same as Advance Wars. I'm just hoping Nintendo wasn't using Advance Wars as a barometer for Golden Sun, since we have no idea when Reboot Camp will be out. Maybe I'm taking an unnecessary risk here, especially since I'm so worried about my memories like it's a terrible Harry Potter book, but I remember Mario Golf and Mario Tennis for GBA being awesome. So I didn't bother watching any gameplay. I'm just diving into this tight hole like a golf ball. And I'll try to think of a good tennis joke about making love, but if I can't, future me edit this out of the video. For a completely different reason, I'm buying Mario Party Advance. Did you know that it's supposed to be the worst Mario game ever made? Well, when someone talks about sucking a butt, my ears perk right up. Now we come to a surprise choice, Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3. While Super Mario Bros. 3 is available through Switch Online, do you know what isn't available on Switch? All of the e-reader levels. Yes, I'm spending $8 on like 30 levels that were probably remade in Mario Maker. I'm a great investor if you couldn't tell. I was actually one of the first people to invest in Firefest, you know. I lost millions, but if it had been a success, would they have made a documentary on it? Exactly. The Ambassador program got in the way of a lot of games here. F-Zero Maximum Velocity, Fire Emblem The Sacred Stones, Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, Metroid Fusion, Zelda Minish Cap, and WarioWare already exist on my 3DS. Some games like Contra Advance and Harvest Moon I have no interest in. Metabots doesn't seem to be particularly good, and I think all of the Mega Man games are either on Switch or coming to Switch. So while it may seem like the GBA Virtual Console offerings are plentiful, Nintendo really padded the eShop like I do with my socks when I'm wearing a Speedo. Let's bridge the gap between Game Boy Advance and Nintendo DS with a couple of Donkey Kong games. I noticed that Donkey wasn't brave enough to make a video on the true best Donkey Kong games in December, so it's up to me to succeed where he failed. That's why I wisely spent my money on DK King of Swing for GBA and DK Jungle Climber for DS. There's no way these games are going to be bad, right? Now we officially move to Nintendo's other system with a touchscreen, the Nintendo DS. I own a lot of the Virtual Console games physically, so unlike the Salsa Bowl at a party, I didn't want to double dip. Thanks to certain DS game prices being higher than a cloud though, I can use the Virtual Console to save a lot of money, once again showing my investing prowess. That leads me to Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. Priced around $200 physically, it's just $10 on Wii U. I've yet to attempt any DS games using the Wii U gamepad and buttons though, so this could be a terrible decision. Still, based on the performance of Scarlet and Violet, Game Freak and Nintendo are clearly struggling financially, so I'm going to help out as much as I can. I heavily debated buying Pokemon Ranger. It was really a question of, did I want to ruin my DS screen or did I want to ruin my Wii U screen? I went with destroying my DS and bought the final 2 games in the series physically. Maybe late one night near the end of March I'll crack like a butt and buy the first one here to complete the trilogy, but for right now I'm treating it like a non-shiny and running away. In the early life cycle of the DS, Nintendo went a little overboard when it came to touchscreen games. While Yoshi Touch and Go is super cheap physically, Kirby Canvas Curse and WarioWare Touched are not. I remember hating Canvas Curse when I was a wee lad though. Get it? Wee lad? Because I owned a Wii? Never mind. Hopefully Canvas Curse aged like Jennifer Lopez and not Nick Nolte. And that's it for Virtual Console DS games. There's only 31 total to begin with, meaning there's not much to choose from, but they did do a decent job curating really fun titles. I just happen to own most of them in a way that lets me know how they taste. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. I'm going to spend all the money left in my account on the best Wii U eShop exclusive games. Let me just take a quick look at Reddit and Metacritic and... oh dear. Okay, so I looked up the best eShop games and it turns out there's one. And it's Affordable Space Adventures. Ironically, it's $25, which I wouldn't classify as affordable. Anyways, Affordable Space Adventures is literally the only game that gets mentioned when you search for best Wii U eShop exclusives. Sure, things like Pushmo World and Dr. Luigi might get thrown in as well, but Asa is a unicorn that craps rainbows. It's something unique and special that must be cherished. But yeah, it's the only worthwhile digital Wii U exclusive game to get before the eShop shuts down in 2 months. I know some of you are probably not wearing pants right now. I also know that some of you are probably yelling at your phone in a public place. While there are certain Wii U eShop exclusives like Yearwalk, Edge, Tengami, and Armilla with decent review scores that should qualify for this video, I live in Canada. And all of those games I mentioned aren't available here, so I miss out. And while I skip them today, there's a good chance I'll buy a couple of the super expensive physical games digitally. Game & Wario goes for like $150, while Devil's Third is $500. And before I go, if you didn't know, allow me to be the one to show you the best deal in gaming history. The entire Metroid Prime trilogy for Wii is on the Wii U eShop for $28 Canadian. That's $9 each. I personally don't have any desire to play them again, but with physical copies well over $150, get it while you still can. I'll be making videos on as many of the games in this video as possible, so make sure you subscribe to see them. But don't use your finger, use a toe, that's what the true fans do.